Welcome to On the Chain.
Let's hit this one here because this one really kind of caught my attention here. This one here is Sam Bankman-Fried called Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, just days before FTX's collapse. Here was his response. And it's like, you're like, huh? Yeah, huh? This is the funny the pictures they pick up there. And so Brad Garlinghouse received an unexpected call from a now disgraced founder of FTX, Sam Bankman. Bankman should have tipped people off right there.
Bankman. The
Bankman. Is it fried or fried? Maybe it's fried. It might be fried at this point.
He was definitely fried.
That hair is fried, Jeff. And then just days before they filed for Chapter 11, it's like, hello, Mr. Garlinghouse, you know. So Garlinghouse told the Sunday Times that Sam Bankman-Fried called him up and asked if Ripple would be interested in buying some of FTX's assets. Can you imagine that? Like just days before, it's like, hey, man, do you want to buy some of our assets? It's like, dude, do they have any assets? I mean,
what kind of assets do they have that you can buy?
They're not liquid assets. We know that. And so in response to Sam Bankman-Fried's question, just call him SBF, Garlinghouse stated that, well, part of my conversation was he needs liquidity. Maybe there are businesses he bought or he has that would want to own. Would we have bought some of those from him? I definitely think that was on the table. Garlinghouse would later tell the Sunday Times it would be a harder path to buy FTX's assets now due to the defunct cryptocurrency company filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And let's see what else we have here. Cointelegraph shared these details. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse reportedly interested in buying certain parts of the collapsed crypto exchange FTX. And on the sidelines of Ripple's Swell conference in London, which happened this past week, Garlinghouse told the Sunday Times that called him 2 days before the company. It's like, what are you going to do 2 days before the collapse, Jeff? And if he's already making phone calls, don't you think he knows that a collapse is evident?
Well, obviously he knew that they were getting very, very close to that collapse point, probably way before that, considering that there were a lot of shenanigans going on over at that company. Fraud is a really good way of highlighting it. Yeah,
fraud says it. Shenanigans or this right there, fraud.
Yeah.
One sounds like fun, one sounds not so fun, right?
Fraud doesn't sound as fun.
No. Shenanigans is like, yeah, not gonna. It's like Three Stooges, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, yeah, see? Yeah. 10-pound gavel falls in your head, see?
See?
Yeah, walk into a bar, see? That's what happens, see? Jeez. So it says Garlinghouse admits now that FTX has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the U.S. A potential transaction for FTX business would be very different than the one. Who wrote this freaking article? Very different than it would have been one-to-one. Of course it was. And then Brad said they're interested in buying FTX assets. And part of this is
interesting. I mean, maybe it could be really interesting to see what kind of things come out of it. One thing that's for certain is that FTX seemed to be always on the buying end of failing entities.
Okay, this is Brett Harrison. He was the president of FTX US, the US version of it. And so there's two videos we have here of him. I think DAI sent one of them out, maybe even both. I don't know. But let's look at this. So here's his first one right here. Here's him talking about all the hours they spent working with the CFTC.
We're looking forward to a lot of the regulatory clarity we're hoping for coming out of the SEC and Chairman Gensler and the CFTC and Chairman Benham.
And is FTX in conversations with the SEC or the Treasury Department about regulation going forward in the sector?
We're absolutely in conversation with the CFTC and the SEC, talking with the staff, in constant dialogue, both about
Jeff, constant dialogue, okay? I mean, that's not like a meeting. That's constant dialogue.
Our current exchange and also our future plans. We think that is the only way for long-term exchange like ours to really exist, is for us to work cooperatively with them and collaboratively with them to figure out the next steps.
Any insight into what those conversations are like, whether or not, your positions on how the industry should move forward?
The main insight I'll give is that I think that it's a misconception that either agency wants to stifle innovation. I think they recognize this is an important technology. It's here to stay. The asset class is a multi-trillion-dollar asset class. It's here to stay. They want it.
When you listen to this in retrospect, It sounds like he's making it all up, Jeff. Well, here's the insight I'll give. Dude, are you really talking to them? I mean, so the other thing is everyone's like running around crypto Twitter talking about these guys like they were having ongoing conversations with the CFTC and Chair Gensler and everybody else. Okay, maybe. I'm not saying they weren't, but the way this guy sounds like, it just sounds like he's making it all up to me. He just sounds, and this is from last year. This is at the SALT conference 2021, Jeff. But wait. That's right. There's more. Hang on a second. Cue that sound, okay? So that's not all. There's another one here of our pal Brett. Brett, is that his name? Brett? Brent? Brett. Yeah, Brett Harrison. Then there's this one, Jeff. Look at this one.
Derivative side, the primary thing we're waiting for is approval from the CFTC. We handed them an 800-page application, which we spent 10,000 hours going through with the staff of the CFTC to get comfortable with our margin model, our risk parameters, our technological setup. And we anticipate hopefully getting approval sometime within a number of months, in which case we'll be able to offer those as well. The derivatives.
All right, so can anybody believe that they submitted an 800-page, what do you call it?
Side, the primary thing we're waiting for is approval from the CFTC. We handed them an 800-page application.
An 800-page application. They don't even have a record of any of their trades. They don't have a record of who the employees are. They don't even have a record of how these real estate purchases were actually indeed, bought. They have none of this record, but we're supposed to believe they filed an 800-page, or maybe they paid some attorneys who were on the, the dole and they were just getting paid in, I don't know, Tether, or who knows, FTT. But Jeff, really? I mean, 10,000 hours? I mean, 10,000 hours when you say, like, how do you master something? You watch a YouTube video, it's like, you can only truly master something if you spend 10,000 hours. A guitar player who invests 10,000 hours will become and he's like, 10,000 hours. I'm like, are we supposed to believe they spend 10,000 hours, Jeff? Seriously.
10,000 hours playing video games.
I'm not buying it at all. I think it's ridiculous. So on that very video that Digital Asset Investors sent out, we had John Deaton kind of giving his 2 cents on it. I want to make sure I want to do attribution. I want to complain other people I don't have attribution. We don't give attribution. So this video right here, I believe both of them came from Digital Asset Investor. John Deaton said, look, we need a list of every meeting the SEC had with FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried. Enough is enough. Come on, Warren Davidson, Patrick McHenry, Tom Emmer, Maxine Waters. If you care at all about working with people, you will join in demanding the release of all communications between FTX and the SEC. Is this the same Maxine Waters who was blowing kisses to Sam Bankman-Fried? Are we supposed to believe this is going to happen anytime in our lifetimes, Jeff? Just saying. I'm just asking, Jeff. This is what I'm saying. It seems a little bit on the fishy side.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that John Deaton is calling them out. The fact that it still gets me, though, the fact that Maxine Waters is going to be responsible somehow in this short period of time that she has to kind of head up some sort of an investigation. So she got a short period of time, though, Chip, because she's got December. That's it. 1 month, and then she's gone. Then she's out of the committee.
So here's John Kennedy. This is the same guy they called when he asked Gary Gensler, are you their daddy? Why do you act like it? So here we go. Here he is.
Would any single one of you hire Sam Bankman-Fried to manage a food truck?
Did you see that look? Did you see the look he gave?
Would any single one of you hire his girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, who apparently was trading billions of dollars, to manage a food truck? Can you tell me who in our would any?
This is gold. Thank you for that, Alice. This is absolute.
Look at this look, though, from is that Mr. Haggerty as he's looking over at him.
Yeah, well, the best one is when you look at these guys. Let's see if we can follow this right here. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah.
This guy right here, hands crossed, big smile on his face, smile. This one's a little perturbed. You asked the question. This guy's actually thinking about it. I don't know. Maybe I would hire him for my food truck. Maybe that's what he's qualified to do.
Exactly. Yeah. For a food truck. Yeah. That might be a great idea.
Because you know how that works, Jeff.
It's a vegan food truck.
You walk up to
Vegan
the food truck
eggs.
and you say, I'd like 2 burgers. I'd like 2 burgers and a Coke. And they go, well, hi, what would you like today? I'm like, I would like 2 burgers and a Coke. They go, would you like anything to drink? And then you have to tell them over and over again. Maybe that's something Sam Bankman-Fried is like actually qualified to do. I don't know.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.